As the COVID-19 pandemic hits Black and immigrant communities' health the hardest, we're faced with a national reckoning. What does our treatment of Black and immigrant communities say about our country? And, most importantly, what can we do about it?
Only in America.
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 Welcome back to Only in America. I'm Ali Noorani. People detained in prisons and immigration detention centers face disastrous COVID-19 outbreaks. Black Americans continue to suffer violence and death at the hands of law enforcement and see higher rates of COVID-19 transmission in their communities. The dual crises of COVID-19 and systemic racism in America have shone a light on the way our systems have failed to uphold justice and a lack of willingness by lawmakers to advance constructive and necessary changes. In the immigration advocacy space, we often combat racism through the frame of anti-immigrant sentiment. This frequently shows up, whether through the president's rhetoric or national policies, as anti-Latinx sentiment. We've spoken out against racist immigration laws like Arizona's SB 1070. We've witnessed the horrific violence of the El Paso Walmart massacre last year and subsequent increase in hate crimes targeting Latinos. But this isn't the only anti-racist work that immigrant advocates need to be doing. All too often, we obscure the experiences of Black immigrants who experience yet another dimension of systemic racism in America, tied to America's deeply painful history of slavery and the ongoing fight for civil rights. The color of our skin and our immigration status dramatically affects how we move through our daily lives in this country. And these two identities, while distinct, are constantly interacting with each other. So, for our next series of Only in America, we're taking a critical look at the complex relationship between racial justice and immigration. We'll start out by digging into how race and immigration intersect, and we'll hear more about the experiences of Black immigrants who face the dual challenges of America's immigration system and systemic racism toward Black communities.
I've noticed that there is a way in which my clients of African descent, African, Caribbean descent are racialized Black once they enter into the United States. And what this means is this concept of being racialized Black at the border is that, they are based upon their phenotypes, they're assumed to be African American and in ways that renders them invisible. And when they have interactions with the immigration system as like a refugee or as someone who is a lawful permanent resident, the impact can be, harsh in terms of if I'm a lawful permanent resident and I have an interaction with the, police system. If I'm arrested, that can result in me being placed in deportation proceedings. And there are ways in which the legal system hasn't paid attention to the nuances of intersectionality and how someone's, being racialized Black, their immigration status, their economic status, all coalesce and influence the types of racism that they experience in the United States.
Segregation and discrimination have been a common thread in our nation's history, and we'll discuss how the legacy of racism in the U.S. impacts our institutions to this day, including in our immigration system. And we'll talk about why, ultimately, immigrant justice cannot be separated from racial justice, because all of us should be treated with dignity, fairness, and justice by systems and by each other, regardless of the color of our skin or where we were born. Make sure that you're subscribed to Only in America on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts to catch new episodes each week. You can learn more at our website, immigrationforum.org/podcast. I'm Ali Noorani. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you next week.